Guys, here we go.
Alrighty.
Right, we are back, Patriots. How is everyone doing here tonight? It's a great speech by your President of the United States. Again, everybody get to see that, hopefully. I caught most of it, a few minutes there. I had to step away, but it was a great speech, if you ask me. Say some hellos out there. Looks like we got lots of people out there. Elaine Hall, nice to see you, Patriot. Always doing great work out there in live chats, and lots of blue wrenches out here tonight after the speech here by POTUS. Tetsunami 511, nice to see you. Lady Cole and Vigilance, all right. University alum, all right, nice to see you. Guardians of Intelligence, Patriot Angels here with us tonight. James T, Linda Collins, Carol Stover, Teresa B, a fellow Canadian Patriot. How you doing? All right, great to see you guys all here. It's moving real fast for me at this point there, trying to catch up. Kumi is out there as well as Wall Lady. Who do you see out there? I70.
Let's see. I got Calico Canada, Jen.
All right.
Miss Money Penny, Jenny, Faith and Honor, Diane Meyer, Susie Riley, Tammy.
Canada wants to know when are we having a fish fry, I70.
Ooh, I'm going to have to go back.
Trip?
I got a little bit, but I'm going to have to go back.
All right. Miss Money Penny is out there in the house with us tonight. Nice to see you. All right. Faith and Honor. Great to see you guys. Hope you guys are having a great night. Tammy Zenbelt, how are you? Another Canadian great patriot out there. All right. Some more wrenches. Magic, how are you tonight? Great to see you guys all. So what did you guys think of POTUS' speech? You hear all the kind of Q connotations in there? I sure did. Definitely when he started talking about the storm and D5, or sorry, he was saying, what was he saying, class 5?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
There were a couple floating around in there. Well, hey, I've got a couple in the bullpen if you want me to pull them in.
Yeah, let's bring some other fellow Patriots in here and let's see what they have to say about the rally.
Yeah, we can turn this into a round table and go over the rally, and then maybe a little bit of Trump tweets and last year's Q.
For sure. Anita Gale out there. All right. Hello from Indiana. Nice to see you. Hello back from Canada. Ellis Fontnot. Sorry. Butchered your name there. Full Force out there is good though too there. All right. Well, who we got out in the house there?
I just brought Clarion in.
Clarion, welcome to the show.
Can you hear me, Clarion?
Sometimes there is that short delay before they actually catch up to us there. Tammy Zenbolt out there in live chat says Ancient Crimes stood out for me. Oh yeah, I missed that one. Yeah. Oh right, no, that's right. I did catch some of that. That's true. Oh, nice to see you out there, Karen Kins, another Canadian patriot coming in from Cochrane, Alberta, I think. All right. Greenest McDragon is out there as well. Good to see you.
All right. Hey, Deb, 65. Can you hear us?
No, maybe they don't have the display.
I don't think the live stream
set up properly there for them.
Yeah, hold on a minute. see if I can't get Pam to add the live stream.
All right. You gonna send a DM over there or something in the chat? Hopefully Radix or Pam is listening and they'll be able to set that up for us, folks. Sorry for the wait there.
If you want, you can go ahead and pull up some Trump tweets. And
definitely, yeah. I think he had a full day of tweeting earlier prior to the rally, so let's definitely bring ourselves up to speed. If I could click the right buttons on here, share the screen. There we go. KC out there in live chat says, at Coach Clay, any luck on getting Amazing Polly on for an interview? I did ask her, and what she stated is that she doesn't usually shy too far away from her own YouTube channel and spends a lot of her time just doing her own research and that. So she actually doesn't really do any interviews, unfortunately. So I'm still trying to poke at her there, and I'll definitely ask her again, in another month or so, and hopefully maybe some other people will plug her as well, telling her to come on PSB, and I can get her on the show, because that would be a great interview. Or in fact, if she just wanted to come on and do a presentation of her own, that I think would be awesome as well. So she does great work. All right, there, guys. Hopefully that answers a question there for you. Casey, thank you for that. And yeah, here we go. First tweet from Donald Trump, or President Trump here, came in 5:48 a.m., working right early again. And it looks like it's a two-parter here. So starts out here. The reason for China pullback and the attempted renegotiation of the trade deal is the sincere, in all caps, hope that they will be able to, in quotes here, negotiate with Joe Biden or one of the very weak Democrats, and thereby continue to rip off the United States. And then in parentheses here, actually double parentheses, 500 billion a year for years to come, ... And then the second part here. Guess what? That's not going to happen. China has just informed us that they, in parentheses, vice premier, are now coming to the U.S. to make a deal. We'll see. But I am very happy with over 100 billion a year in tariffs filling U.S. coffers. Great for U.S., not good for China. I would say, yeah, that's
interesting.
Lots of stuff going on there. Yeah, looks like, not sure if we have a new one or not. We'll continue on here. Here. This one here came in at 5:57 a.m. The quotes here from Maria Bartiromo. The real, in quotes, obstruction of justice is what the Democrats are trying to do to this Attorney General, Congressman Jim Jordan from Ohio. And that, I think, is their new play, is try to smear this Attorney General, make him look bad, and whoever is left who's listening to these people talk.
Yep.
All right, next one.
Interesting.
6:23 a.m. Can you hear that? Yeah, go ahead.
Canada Mike sent you a DM.
Okay. I'll check that out after I'm not sharing the screen.
All right, that's fine. Hey, yeah, what do you think about that one right there?
This one here?
Yeah.
Well, let me read out here first. So listen up. So it's from at Steve Forbes. Shouldn't 2015 and 2016 be revealed how intelligence agencies, FBI, tried to sabotage a particular campaign? Never been done before. Steve Forbes, yeah. Oh, we know.
Yeah, Forbes from the magazine, I imagine, correct?
That's what I figure, yeah, Steve Forbes. Yep, it's going to be revealed, all of it. All right, next one here came in at 6:42 a.m. Big court win at our southern border. we are getting there, and wall is being built. All right. Next one here, guys, came in here at 7:38 a.m. Also from Fox and Friends and at Ainsley Yearhart. Quote, everyone wants to know who needs to be accountable because it took up to 2 years of our lives talking about this Russian involvement. It proved no collusion, and people want to trace it back to see how this all happened. Treasonous hoax, the president says. Some good trolling going on by the president here.
Hey, Coach Clace, sorry, I DM'd you. I know you only got 4 minutes, but you wanna have your mind blown?
Sure.
I'm going to share something, and you guys read it on air and tell me what you think it is. I won't say a word. Okay?
Okay.
Hang on.
Right. So what we got here?
Are you reading it?
No, not yet. No. What are you showing us here? What's this from?
I'll have the honor of reading it then. It's an update I just did on my iPhone about an hour ago.
Okay.
Actually, it doesn't tell you the time. I took a screenshot and I spoke to a couple of people on Discord because I freaked my mind out. Listen to this. When does an update tell you this little thing? I think they're sending a message. The stage was set for what the surprise would bring. To see where in the app we'd have fun for spring. Similar to the light that snowed and passed, a short press and hold will trigger the task. Scour and search to see April showers and discover the joy of bringing May flowers. I mean, am I just too much into Q, or am I reading anything into this? When does it say a poem like this on an update? And look at the words. You got Snowden in there. You got will trigger, press and hold is a full auto, scour and search for April showers to bring May flowers. I mean, what the hell's going on? Do you guys make anything out of this, or am I just a conspiracy tinfoil hat Looney Tune? I mean, at this point, I mean, I know that Comey sends messages in his tweets. We've decoded them everywhere. And I know Bill Gates is probably part of the cabal, so that's my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know what to make of it, really. But
and look, if I keep reading, avatars in the left drawer were swapping order unpredictably. The amusing game of peekaboo has been put to an end once and for all, and your avatars will now stay put. Are you telling me they're not sending messages to somebody to do or don't do? Or, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I thought I'd have to bring it in because this is just like now. And I've discussed it with other people, and they read it, and they all went like, whoa, wait a minute. What the hell is this?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting for sure. I mean, I don't know what to make of it, really, but you could be right, but you could be totally.
Oh, I mean, I admit it myself. But if you remember,
Larry says not bar 6.
Yeah, but if you look at Q's posts, the stage, trigger, spring, Snowden, right? Mm-hmm. Will trigger the task, scour and search.
Yeah, but you know what this could be? So when Q does come out, then people look for those terms and this shit pops up.
Oh, I agree. Could be totally off, but I mean, it's funny how it connects somehow.
It connects somehow. I just don't know whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean?
No, it could be good or it could be something's up. Because remember, they can't communicate anymore by any methods known to us. Phone, email, text, it doesn't matter. We've cut all the cords. So what is Comey doing? He's giving us his last 5 years job crapola, and it all ties up to events that have happened. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I thought I'd bring it up and, sorry about the interruption. It's just bothering me so much.
No, that's interesting. It's interesting.
I got Tennessee on it, so he'll come up with something. Maybe numbers or who knows.
No doubt.
Sorry for the interrupt.
No, it's fine, mate. All right. Did we get up to date there on those president tweets? I'm not sure if we finished off there or not. Let's go back on to that.
No, we're still missing the stream machine. If anybody out there can find the missing stream machine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so hopefully someone will DM Pam or...
Are you guys still on till 11?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were finishing at 10. That's why I kind of came in. I wanted to give it to you before the end of the show. Usually you stop at 10.
Yeah, no worries. We're just doing our thing here. POTUS schedule, the rally went a little bit over the start of our show. So we got a little bit of a shortened show, but still, lots of time. All right. I think did my screen share come up there again?
Let me check here.
It shows up on mine.
I see it. You are good.
All right. Here, this next one is 6:42 a.m. I think that's my time here in Mountain Time. President Trump tweets out here, big court win at our southern border. We are getting there, and wall is being built. Okay, yeah, that's the one we just went over. So what was that court decision? Do you guys know what that was about? Anybody in live chat? Bring us up to date on what that one was about.
Oh, you guys want another doozer that nobody's been talking about?
Sure, buddy.
Remember we saw the picture from Q with the Long Beach port?
Yes.
About, I don't know, a week and a half?
Yep.
Do you know what happened today?
No, I did see that. That was very big news.
Saw they obligated. Well, I told a few people that didn't know they had to. The Chinese sold it back to us.
Yeah,
They didn't have a choice.
Forced the Chinese to sell back the port. And if people had looked at that agreement, apparently the Chinese were able to buy the rights for that port for like 50 years or something, 40 years, something ridiculous like that.
No more.
You see how extended they had planned that to be a easy place to be able to bring things in through containers in that port there. So,
and remember when the raid went on in LA and at the same time they had a raid in Long Beach?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they videoed it and sent a copy to G and said, okay, this is it. Look at that container. Look at all your nationals coming out of it.
Right.
That's it. You're selling it back to us, and it was done lawfully. They had no choice under national security. And I'm amazed that the mainstream media is not blasting. That's a big transaction.
Well, of course,
they were forced.
So they wouldn't talk about it for sure.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Oh, it's live chat. Thank you out there. A lot of people, Royal Red, Elaine Hall, both, saying it's about sending the illegals to Mexico instead of released to U.S. That was what the decision at the border was. Okay, very interesting.
Yeah, the Ninth Circuit, believe it or not, held the Trump's order.
It was Ninth Circuit too. Wow. So
yeah, I know, of all places.
They usually go the other way no matter what it is against President Trump. Yeah. The Chinese deal there with that port, to me, again, is another example of the dichotomy between President Trump and our prime minister. When you're dealing with a country and as like China, who in history values certain things such as honor, strength, all of these type of things that I could go into in terms of Chinese astrology or feng shui and all those other things like that. And so what the president continues to do is either show honor, respect, or power. So what do? They give him the port, easily make a deal, no problem. You didn't see any problems with the deal like that. They just sold it to an American company that was ready to buy. It was all set up. Whereas our prime minister continues to show weakness to the point where Pierre Poilievre, I think is his last name there, right? One of our Canadian MPs today, he showed a clip where the Chinese have started, and I don't know the Chinese term or how to say it, but they have a name for Trudeau in China called Little Potato. Okay. Not much of a bad word, but I guarantee that is a big insult, right? So that's just the difference. I think that deal with Long Beach Port is another good example of POTUS doing such right things that these countries such as China are having to follow suit.
Let me guess. Donald Trump is the big potato.
Well, no, I think it actually comes back to when Trudeau's father was prime minister. They had called him something of a big potato or something like that. So
really, I remember that.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Clarion, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Awesome. We're ready to roll. Let's start taking our callers and get this show on the road.
Thank you very much for that update there, Social 321, our volunteer pre-screener. Always doing a great time down there. Great job. Thank you very much. Yeah, welcome to the show, Clarion.
Well, thank you. I thank you. I think Deb is in too, perhaps. And then Canada Mike, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I DM'd you something earlier.
Yeah, I know. And you were, I didn't quite understand what that was. Was that just all of a sudden appeared?
It was an update on my app, and that's what it said, which was weird.
Well, who pray tell authored it?
Microsoft.
Nice.
Yeah, Regan's Runners out there says that Coach Lee, what's going on with the trash dump situation? Yeah, I actually updated people at the start of the show, but in case you hadn't heard there, Canada has now accepted and we are going to pay now to get our trash sent back to us from the Philippines that we had sent over there in a few odd 30 or 40 containers full of it.
So we're not at war?
No, we're accepted. We're responsibility. We'll take all that garbage back here. Yep. And so nice some more carbon tax, good stuff going on, having to roll that whole container boat back over full of those. It's just another joke.
Did you notice go ahead, Clarion.
Novel idea, isn't it? All that carbon footprint to ship it over there and then to ship it back, and then you guys have to pay for it twice. So exactly. I guess hopefully it got laundered somewhere along the way.
Again, it's a joke. It's a joke by the Liberals. It's a ploy to get votes and to pander onto that, as well as potentially, obviously have ownership or stocks in some of these companies that are going to get the monies from the carbon tax. I mean, here Justin Trudeau is continually, and his environmental minister, Kathy, or I can't remember her McKenna is her last name, who, all of these people do not come from a background in environmental science, but therefore they're still spouting out that this carbon tax is the best thing, and actually that they put a price on carbon tax is what the new thing and wording is about here. But here it is on Earth Day, which was last week, I think, just over a week ago. And Mr. Trudeau flew across the country from Ottawa to Tofino, out on the island, Vancouver Island, so that he could go surfing. Okay, yeah, so that's carbon footprint right there, right? There's just an example of what they think they can get away with, that the Canadian population in general is not paying attention, and because the MSM is not going to obviously talk about that type of thing that's going on, it's only through the internet and other alternative sources that Canadians are actually getting truth news. So, he thinks that he can just continue on with this kind of.
Hey, Coach, didn't Saskatchewan Supreme Court just overturn the carbon tax being unconstitutional?
No, they did it. They actually did it the opposite. The Saskatchewan government ruled with the federal government, saying that the government had the ability within, I can't remember the exact legal term that it was, but basically along the lines of not necessarily at the level of a national security level, but on a level that the government needs to implement something or unimplement something or do something like that. for the betterment of the country. And I could get the actual terms, then they went through there, but no, so they can now, Saskatchewan has to continue paying their carbon tax, all the citizens, etc.
Hey, I've brought Deb 65 and I Love America into the room.
Oh, all right, right on. Welcome to the show, Deb 65 and I Love America.
Hi. I wanted to be real quick. I just wanted to show you a sign and then explain it, and then I'd be out. It's real quick. It's in the live on-air text channel, and it's sign that I made. I had one made. It was Patriot Soapbox 24/7 live feed on YouTube, but it was small, so I made a bigger one.
Okay, so where did you post it there, sir?
I posted it in live text channel, I think.
I think I found it here. Let me pull it up for us. It might take a second before you can see it here for us, just within that delay with YouTube. But there it is, folks. Yeah.
It's just an example of what some people can do to get the word out. I notice a lot of people drive by, they're reading it, so at least I'm putting a seed in their head. A lot of people also are taking pictures. I have a lot of traffic. There's a big trucking company right around here, so there's traffic on this street. So if somebody else wanted to make a sign, put it out in their yard and get, I'm saying a lot just with that sign right there.
Yeah, and for people who are listening but aren't watching the show right now, I'll just read it out for them. So I Love America's sign she has outside her yard here on the road here side says, open source information, QAnon.pub, QMAP.pub, requires critical thinking. Come listen, learn, chat, share links, do research. Patriot Soapbox 24/7 live feed on YouTube. That's pretty cool.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, no, and that is all. It's just two pieces of fabric that I had sewn together with some acrylic paint and a shepherd's hook, and I put a anchor on it so it doesn't blow away. So
yeah, that's awesome.
It's been out in my yard for probably, I don't know, 2 weeks now. So I know people are seeing it.
Nice.
Well, that is great. That is, you know what? That's just good old American and Canadian ingenuity, right? Patriot.
Well, it's also two-sided, so they see it coming and going.
Nice.
You've thought of everything there. That's fantastic. Just fantastic. You're the Betsy Ross of the new digital age. We are the news now.
Right. Well, I just wanted to say hi, chat, and Coach Clay and I70, America in the world, and just remember, love America.
That's right.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming in and join us again anytime.
Yeah, that was awesome. Just think of how many people move past that back and forth over the days that she's had that up there. You know, like
come back anytime, America.
That was who? I Love America is their moniker?
That is correct.
Says it all. But that is just, just representative. It's just the archetype of patriotism, salt of the earth, regular person, not a professional broadcaster or anything, just doing something like that. And that will have huge impact. And certainly if it's on front and back, right?
Yep. It only takes a few seconds for it to be seen by a couple people.
Yeah. I believe I Love America has done similar things to that before. That's she's done something similar to that on her street. But that one is just awesome. Great.
I like her tagline too. And I put a shepherd's hook in. I like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, Deb 65, how are you tonight? Haven't heard from you.
I'm pretty good. The weather's been kind of rough, so it's brought in a lot of congestion and stuff. So I'm but
What
other
kind
than
of
that,
what kind of weather you been getting there?
just rain, mainly rain.
Oh yeah, it's that damp.
So and it's a lot of clouds and kind of rainy. And at the first of the year, we had fog for like 6 weeks straight, dense, thick fog.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, that sounds like Vancouver Island or out on Newfoundland. They definitely get a lot of fog there as well. There's a part of the island out here on Newfoundland it's called the Isthmus. Well, basically, it's so high there that every time you drive up on that part of that island, it's just fog right down to the road level. Yeah.
Jeez, I'm getting depressed.
Well, you tell us about your weather then, Clarion. You're over in California, aren't you? Did you have some good stuff, or was it covered with that kind of white film that's out there in the skies most days?
Yeah, well, we get our fair share of chemtrails for sure, but it was probably in the mid 60s, sun poking through. We're going to have a low pressure system coming in on Friday with some precipitation, but altogether, awesome, awesome, awesome to be alive, to know the Lord. And I just want to give a shout out to our friend Patrick Howley. And if you guys haven't, looked at Patrick Howley's Twitter feed, I would encourage you to go ahead and do that. And then also go to bigleaguepolitics.com, where he has a site and it's organic news articles that he's generating with he and his team. And about 4 hours ago, he retweeted Dana Milbank. So Dana Milbank is part of the MSM, right? So Dana Milbank tweets 5 hours ago, Trump's White House just revoked the press pass I've had for 21 years as part of its broader crackdown on journalists. You know what, Dana Milbank? Pound sand. You are a hack, Dana Milbank. You are a hack. You are a hack that goes back 10 years. So pound sand. You should have your press privileges revoked, all right? It's not just carte blanche that you MSMers can just waltz in and sashay in and think that you have the ability just to year over year over year do what you do, okay? So Patrick Howley, thanks for posting that. And he gave a nice little zinger when he retweeted that. And sticking with Patrick Howley, he also, it's just amazing what these people in the MSM are doing. So Patrick Howley broke that Department of Veteran Affairs scandal. So check this out. So his original article has been deleted from Wikipedia, and the audio of the whistleblower, which he backed up, is unavailable on YouTube. So these guys are just getting increasingly, more bold. And you know what? We just need to be louder, and we need to just be as persistent, if not more, as patriots and as taking over the fourth estate of the news, because it is heating up for sure.
Yeah, and I'm totally. I think you're on point there for sure. I think the attacks and other things, censorship, etc., is just going to continue and get. They're going full bore on us here. So we definitely have to continue on the same path that we're going here, and everyone needs to speak up when they can.
Absolutely, Coach. Speak up when you can. Be diligent. Be smart about it, but don't back down. It has to be pedal to the metal. Pedal to the metal. We have to just continue to move forward, and it is unbelievable. So the deep state. So the whole China, the negotiations of the trade deal. President Trump tweeted, I think it was earlier today, that there was some wobbliness, or China trying to renegotiate it. Why? Because China was, toying with the idea that, there might be a new president in 2020 with Joe Biden would actually be sympathetic. I mean, that's the extent how the MSM, echo chamber, and then also the deep state are impacting, in real time policy even to the extent where China now is, taking another look at this. And obviously, that's not going to happen. We're going to get a trade deal. But I just mentioned that because we are in wicked times, and we are in absolutely consequential times to tend to the Googleplex. Okay. It is unbelievable. So we have to be like pedal to the metal nonstop.
Yeah, I agree with you. Susie Odom brought attention to us here for, check this out briefly here, guys. Go over there. Share the screen. It's from at Real Maga Steve. It says, holy crap, Doug Collins just said he will be releasing the private testimony of up to 53 people as early as next week on Twitter. Collins is responsible for making public the transcripts of testimony by Stozic, Page, Orr, and others. Get ready, hashtag MAGA, and the mother load is coming. And then I'll just briefly show this here, if I can.
Question in a few short.
Make it bigger for people. See what you guys have to say after that.
In a few short seconds we have, you courageously have released the closed-door testimony of Bruce and Nellie Orr and the General Counsel Baker and Strzok and Page. There are 53 other closed-door testimonies that I am aware of. Will you continue that release?
Yes, get ready for that. I would tell anybody to stay close to Twitter, stay close to the next few weeks. We'll be releasing the rest of those.
Very interesting that he's going to do it on Twitter.
Any this week, sir?
Probably not this week, but we're getting ready for next week. We want to let the Democrats, their hypocrisy shine this week, and we're going to get back and watch what Bill Barr is doing, and we're going to get back exposing this to the American people.
Congressman Collins, Georgia, thank you.
Wow, that was great.
Question.
What do you guys think about that?
That's pretty big right there.
Yeah, and it's just sweet that it's going to be on Twitter, right? Talk about irony.
Right.
How I want it, Bill, eh?
They're going to shut down Twitter that day.
Well, I keep thinking about with all this censorship happening, and obviously we've had the first straw man taken down again, as we know, with Mr. AJ there, and the others that were taken down with him for the same reason or for optics as well. But as Q has said, at one point there is only going to be 8chan for a while, or forever that long takes for them to kind of reset this over. So is that the eventual thing that we're leading towards right now?
I don't know. Could be.
What do you think, Larry?
Yeah, we're in a full-on. There's been a shift, and it's interesting, right? So it's it's a little bit incongruent at first blush, right? When you look at it, well, we haven't had a Q post. When was the last Q post that we had?
It was on to the May 2nd. May 2nd.
All right, May
6 days ago.
May 2nd. Yeah, so we're looking at almost tomorrow will be a week, right? But then on the other hand, we have it's been full bore with Twitter and with just across the board spectrum with all of this deplatforming and censorship overload. And that tells me that there is so much going on behind the scenes right now. And they're just letting it is like dysentery, what these guys have. It is like this diarrhea that's coming out of the deep state and through the MSM, and they're just letting them do it. And it's all going to be out. And you know what? They're just spinning right now. But we just need to continue to put keep our foot to the floor with the gas, and take our rightful role as we are the news now. That's not exaggeration, right? That's not hyperbole. We are the news now. And just as this country was formed around just salt of the earth, regular people, that's what we're doing right now. You don't have to be an expert, don't have to be a professional. You just have to stay on top of things. Because the mainstream media has completely abdicated their responsibility. It is treason It is treason. And so this tells me is that the plan is moving forward. It's a fluid plan. They're making adjustments, but man alive, this thing is going to break wide open. Talk about Moab. This thing is going to break wide open, and it's in the immediate future.
Well, if I may here, I'll bring attention to a couple of Q posts. I can read out here for us, for the people who are not watching. This one came in from yesterday in 2018, May 7th, 2018, at 10:36 p.m. Mountain Time, 12:36 p.m. Eastern Time. And it says, it's Q post 1318. And Q says, think logically, mass exodus in DC. Max exodus, corporate CEOs. Why? Who has the power? Who has the control? If POTUS was not in control, would they be retreating? Who is the AG? Who must approve the firing dismissal of DOJ officials? Reread DOJ org change, open source, more and pipe. Who is the FBI director? Who must approve the firing / dismissal of FBI agents? Reread FBI org change, in brackets, open source, more and pipe. If Sessions and Wray are DC swamp / deep state, why are they cleaning their respective houses? Use logic. Why are they slow walking unredacted data? Why are they slow walking doc disclosures? Why is the White House backing up DOJ? What if the same data is being used by other investigators? What does it mean if a grand jury is impaneled? Why are confusing questions asked as to outcome regarding Mueller? What would be the purpose of creating confusion? What was Sessions' Senate confirmation vote? What was RR's Senate confirmation vote? If RR is dirty, Mueller must also be dirty. If Mueller is dirty, RR must also be dirty. Common denominator. Why does Sessions pick RR? Everyone has an opinion. Few have the facts. Few know the plan. Midterms, in brackets, save and push. Swing voters to retake House / Senate. Impeachment proceedings, in brackets, open source, initiated. Power at all costs. Blue wave, use logic. Why must the DOJ and FBI be cleaned first? What is the DOJ responsible for? What is the FBI responsible for? Why did HRC get a free pass? Use logic. Defined single shooter. Who is Hoover? Define IG. When does Sessions step back in? Already is? Why does Sessions secretly engage Hoover? Why did Sessions reveal Hoover? Timing is everything. Department of Justice does not discuss ongoing investigations or confirm specific matters. What about the active investigations into leaks? Horowitz oversees a nationwide workforce of more than 450 special agents, auditors, inspectors, attorneys, and support staff whose mission is to detect and deter waste, fraud, abuse, and misconduct in DOJ program personnel, and to promote economy and efficiency in department operations. End quote. Why did MPs step into the CIA prior to Secretary of State? They are deeply connected. Think offshore. Military intelligence providing support during this time? Why are select executive orders aggressively being written and put into law? State / CIA next? Think logically. No outside comms. Justice. Q. Yes. To me, I mean, it's this is just a for people who are having a hard time being patient and understanding that this plan has to go by perfectly in terms of the timing, I think is an example of how much has been happening and going on behind the scenes, especially with Hoover.
Right. Coach Clay, what was the date on that post?
That was from May 7th, 2018. So a year ago yesterday.
Yep. So, the plan is very fluid. And if it wasn't fluid, they wouldn't have to be game theorying things out, right? So there's assumptions made in a very, very detailed way, in a mathematical way, but there's still unknown variables. And so some things could slightly have changed, and maybe in a major way have changed, but the plan is still moving forward. They're still in the control, and there's so many facets of military intelligence within the NSA, and there's so many key people that are involved in this. Like you said, Coach, it has to be fail-safe. It has to be redundant, and because when this thing comes out, this thing is going to be so wide, deep, strong that it's going to basically eclipse and overshadow and transcend any BS that's going on right now that the deep staters and the MSM echo chamber are purveying. And they're taking out, there's operations taking out safe passages that you look no further than the basically in DC at Arlington National Cemetery. There's a very interesting last year the president was there. So there's so much going on behind the scenes, so that they're closing down all of the places of flight, and they're getting everything set up. And we just need to continually prayers up for our dear POTUS and his wife, and all of the alliance and the operators and special forces we don't even know about that are guarding the president and the Secret Service, and on and on and on. This is unbelievable. This is something on a scale that this world has never seen before, and we're in on it.
Yep, you're right. Hey, I brought Drunken Pinata and Reagan's Runner into our round table.
Awesome. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you tonight?
Reagan's Runner, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm just on here, just waiting for a chicken call.
We got you. You are live on air now.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to point out that Matt Gaetz was a star today. I mean, I saw him. I watched the entire thing unfold, the pre-break and after break of the hearing. And that guy was lights out today, and I really appreciate him being a patriot. And then he flew down to Florida to be at Trump's rally tonight. I mean, I just think, I think the guy's outstanding, and he's really not that I don't think he's trying to be a star. It's just he knows what's right, and he's really pushing the envelope. So
who are you talking about?
Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, he is. He's on it the last couple months.
Well, he's 36 years old. He's pretty young, and he's just on it. He's got all the laws ready to go. And at one point, I saw him on his cell phone, and I thought he was tweeting out because he tweets quite a bit. And he wrote an amendment while he was sitting there, and I thought it was funny because it backed Nadler into a corner. And the amendment was to basically make the Democrats admit that they're not asking Nadler or Barr to break the law, which they clearly are. So I think what he did today was very intelligent to make that amendment happen, and they passed the amendment. I think we're going to see some stuff out of that.
Yeah, I listened to that all day this morning. That's pretty entertaining.
So what do you guys think, Regan's Runners, for example, about this House vote in terms of, didn't they vote to put him in contempt, and now it's going to go to the full floor, or how did that go down?
Yeah, I think it was a vote to put him in contempt, and then it was 2 days to gather more information to maybe vote one more time before it goes to the floor. That's what I was gathering out of that portion. But in all reality, it's going to happen. He's going to be in contempt. And it's just going to keep destroying. It's just chipping away at the Democrat Party. The party is going to be destroyed. I mean, it's absolutely going to be destroyed. And I don't usually watch any of that when it's on PSB because I want to get what the outside public is saying. And I got to tell you, I mean, probably every fifth message that's on the live chat of other stations is talking about Democrats that will never vote Democrat again. They just are seeing right through this, and it's amazing to watch this history happen.
Oh.
No, yeah, I agree. Hey, Drunken Pinatas, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Alrighty, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. I didn't bother watching after they went to break for lunch because I figured that they were just going to do more yapping at each other and vote on it. So,
Well, I think we're seeing them in these last attempts that they can do to they really don't know when any of the truth information is going to come out at this point. That's how far gone they've gone in terms of the plan being initiated and having these people, in my opinion, for lack of a better term, scared. And so I think we just continue to see day by day these just stupid attempts of them trying to stay in the narrative and continue it to be negative against President Trump.
Hey, I got a question in live chat. I've got a question in live chat. When they say strike the last statement or whatever they say right before they start speaking, does that mean that the last person that spoke, their whole stuff gets striked away from the record? Anybody catch that? They always kept saying it. Let me see. Who asked here?
I'm not familiar with that.
Crazy Hey said, when they strike the last word, are they doing some kind of trick, or are they fully understanding?
I'm pretty sure it's a formality to say that particular person, they're recognizing that they're done speaking and it's time to move on to the next person that's speaking. So strike it is that they've yielded their time or they've finished and now it's on to the next person.
I see.
Gotcha. Like start the recording.
Yeah, I'm totally with you guys on what Matt Getz did, because he basically made Nadler completely do a 180 with and really kind of admit that that's what they were kind of going after. Without you could tell the way his demeanor completely changed when he realized what that amendment was. That he definitely was like, okay, well, I guess this one isn't going to do it, but they still went ahead with it for optic,
Yeah, Pinata, I totally watched it. He was starting to backpedal. It was funny to watch because he started there was one point where they voted on it and he tried to push it through real quick because he didn't want everybody to know what the votes were or who voted what. And it was funny because Gates called him out, or it was Collins, one of the two. And they said, no, we want to hear the vote. And it was pretty funny because he had to restart over and they had to gather all the votes.
And what was the vote? Does anyone know what the end up number was? Curiosity's sake.
It was 20-12. It was 20-12 in favor of the Democrats, but it was just fun to watch because it was gamesmanship.
Right. I mean, all in all, guys, what's your guys' opinion on this? But I really see the one obstacle that's doing so many things right now, but is this mainstream media. Without their ability to spout out this stuff continually day by day, lies, just straight out lies. And it's happening in my country too, almost double the effect, because they repeat all the CNN and MSNBC stuff, and then they also spout it out themselves on their own take of it. So, but my question to you is, when do you think in the plan that it will be initiated to charge some of these bad actors in the media field, if and so they are going to be looked at? Because to me, and to just further that is why not just charge those people first, or some of the first people, and take that ability for them to be on that platform. Now they'll have to get new people and fill in that time slot on some of those programs, for example. Let's say that happens. But those people are not going to be the exact same people in terms of the talent level or of CIA analyst stability, bad actor type stuff. I think they'll have to fill in people with that just aren't that good. So they'll be losing again that stride. To me, that's the first thing that should happen. What's your guys' opinion?
Couldn't happen soon enough.
I agree there. I think it's. I'll be glad. I actually want them to go down more than I want the other people, the top, the elites.
I think that overall, we probably should not do anything beyond what's on the books already. I think if you go above and beyond, I mean, because it is supposed to be a free press, and so.
Right, but to me, they've been conspiring. They've been part of
legal, then
conspiracy.
obviously there should be some repercussion for that. But if it's just from a moral standpoint only, and it's not actually illegal, then
right.
I think that they're going to be taken down by their own, they're hoisted by their own petard anyway. So
right.
I think it's a dangerous path to go down, just for the future.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. That's what I was meaning in terms of if there is something in terms of the conspiracy or actual legal things that or illegal things that they've been doing in that sense, then yes, that's where I'm saying that they should be looked at. But other than that, then obviously, they're then going to be able to continue spouting this out, which I fully agree with their ability to, and within free speech. So it's just, to me, with that really is their one offensive move. It's their from a coaching term, it's their Michael Jordan. It's their they pass the ball to it every day. They pass the ball over to the MSM media to take their offensive shot, right? So in terms of our game plan there, that in itself would really knock them back in that sense. But, then again, do we really need to when we know how much truth is actually going to come out eventually? Yeah. So.
Well, hey, look, they will be indicted. Okay, listen, the Q posted about this, and I agree with you. There's free speech. However, when that free speech is used in a coordinated fashion with the deep state, with drops, with intentional malice, right, to try to perfect some kind of narrative, which is actually the narrative run. It basically is counter to the well-being of our country. Well, damn it, yeah, we're going to see some prosecutions, and I'm completely for that. And so I think that what's going to happen is they're going to establish the gravamen of the whole. In other words, the underlying of all this, you're going to see probably an indictment of someone like the likes of Comey or Brennan, and then everyone's going to be up in arms, and then they're going to drop this information, and it is going to be so patently obvious as to the criminal. And then they'll maybe go into the next phase and start, indicting and exposing how it's been a coordinated criminal literally a criminal enterprise. And you could actually use RICO statutes. I'm very serious about this. With the coordination of the deep state press and the deep state operatives, there's no question about it. So I'm not going to, feel bad if Anderson Cooper isn't indicted and even brought up on charges of treason. I'm very serious about this. I'm not exaggerating, not trying to create hyperbole here. These people need to be prosecuted. This is unprecedented times. We are in the margin, and our Constitution, our way of life, everything hangs in the balance on this. It has to be done right. Hence, it's a methodical, plan and everything, all the redundancies. But hey, these people need to be prosecuted, irrespective of if they're the press. They can't be hiding behind the veneer, of a free press, quote unquote. Yes, it's free, but you know what? It's paid for by the blood, sweat, and tears of our soldiers and our liberty. and those that fought for this country and the Constitution. And we have a, and if these people, if it's found that were in coordinating with the deep state to the extent that we know that they have been, you know what? They need to go to Gitmo 2. They need to be put on trial, perhaps in a military tribunal or even criminal law, but they need to pay the consequences.
Every other person that spoke during that proceeding today literally made stuff up and just followed the CNN narrative. So how are they not ever held responsible? That should just be treason at some point.
It's what they're calling, it's within politics. It's politicking.
Well, this is politicking around conveying a false narrative of essentially supporting the spying and overthrow of our sitting and the private citizen as he ran for office, amongst all of the other stuff. And that's just it. And multiple Q posts, they said they will not be able to walk the streets. There will not be a Democrat Party. So what is coming out is going to be so unbelievable that it's going to speak for itself.
Yeah, three things I wanted to bring up on this subject, if I could. One is you got to remember this is a capitalist country, and once the mainstream media is brought up on look at all this fake news that's proven, just like anything else in business, if people aren't watching the show, they're going to lose ratings and they're going to lose money. We've already seen that. But there will be some reporters that will be brought up on charges because it's not free press if it's jaded in any way. I mean, see, that's the thing is, free press doesn't mean you can just spout out a bunch of lies just to take a narrative in a direction. And those are going to be proven because they're going to find out who the leaks went to. The second thing I wanted to bring up is the Q post that said C before D. So I'm pretty sure Comey is going to be the first one that gets railed. And I'm pretty sure it's going to happen this next week when Mueller testifies at the Judiciary Committee. And then the third thing I wanted to bring up was Rosenstein. Don't forget that he tried to resign earlier than what he's resigned now, and he was refused his resignation. And that's because I'm pretty sure they have stuff on him, and they want to make sure that everything's going to be fine when he testifies, because he will be testifying at some point. Sessions will be testifying. Whitaker will be testifying. Flynn, Rogers, all those people will be testifying at some point. And that's when the real crap is going to go down. People are going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, that was very well said. Both what Clarion said and you yourself there, Regan's Runners, that was very well said. I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Hey, I also like to point out something. One of the things we got to do is stop letting the media control our narrative. We need to go back to innocent until proven guilty. We need to go back to trying criminal acts in the court of law instead of public opinion. We've gotten so far away from that you don't know what is fact and what is fiction.
Yeah, Deb, I agree. But one of the things that's been happening is the deep state has been controlling it. It's just, look what Nancy Pelosi just said the other day. And this is why your point is so important. Nancy Pelosi just said the other day, we might have to impeach President Trump because of, we can't allow him to have a second term because we got to take him to the public opinion. What the hell is that? Public opinion? No, it's the law. It's emotion leftists versus constitutional conservative Republicans that want the law to be followed. And sooner or later, something's going to break because President Trump has all the power right now. I think, honestly, my opinion is that Flynn and Admiral Rogers are heading this whole anti-deep state that's happening right now. And I think you'll see Barr Rogers, and Flynn. I'm sorry, Barr, Rogers, Flynn be the Franklin, Washington, and Jefferson of our time. They're going to be the saviors of this country, along with Trump, obviously.
Wow. Yeah, that's something. I like how you put that.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, these progressives, they start at a point, okay, and then they reverse engineer everything into that. That's what they do. They're adept at that. They're unscrupulous, meaning they don't care, and they basically, the ends justify the means. Okay, they will do anything, including what you just mentioned. There is like this word salad, ridiculous. What are you talking about, Speaker Pelosi? And then you have Al Green, the congressman from Texas, basically, talking about, well, we need to impeach him so he essentially can't run for in 2020. We are in critically dangerous and wicked times. And it doesn't mean that we need to abdicate, the rule of law ourselves, but it doesn't mean, in my opinion, that we need to be very sober about this. And there's treason that's going on. And it doesn't matter if these people are in three-piece suits with Harvard or Yale educations that read a teleprompter. If they're involved in this in a coordinated criminal way, they need to be prosecuted either in a military tribunal or in a federal court, criminal court.
Benedict Arnold. Just look it up. I mean, this is what's happening today. I mean, it's like Benedict Arnold going to the King of England during the Revolution. I mean, it's sad that this is happening right now, and I'm sorry, but yeah. One other thing I wanted to bring up too is the head of the Gitmo operations was resigned recently, or was fired, and they're replacing him with somebody. If you look that up, that gentleman that they're replacing him with is he has his master's degree in psychological operations. Okay, so this is no joke. They just opened up, I think it was like 400 more units in Gitmo. I mean, this is going to be a large, I mean, if you think about it, this is going to be the largest scale of draining the swamp that any country has ever seen. And it's the last ditch effort to go dark or light. And what we're dealing with right now is we have some extreme patriots who are putting their lives on the line, literal lives on the line. Mike Flynn's lost everything. Barr has an opportunity to possibly get arrested. And, it's scary that we are this close. And we have Jews that are being called Nazis. We have Laura Loomer getting ripped off of Twitter for what? For sticking up for conservative values? I mean, if you don't think this is extremely dangerous, then just do some research. Continue watching PSB. Continue trying to red pill as many people as possible, because eventually the light switch is going to come on for some folks, and you've got to be there to be the word of mouth, and it's so important.
Yeah, very well said, Runners.
I couldn't agree more. We are in waxy, wicked, consequential, highly dangerous times, and we need to stand up. And as we're doing as patriots, our forefathers pledged their lives and their fortunes for this country, and it is unbelievable what's happening. And we look no further. We go back into the recent past when Nancy Pelosi was going to go on that COTL, that junket, and she was going to meet with NATO head, and she was going to meet anytime they go to Brussels. That's a red flag. She was going to go to Brussels with that whole contingency, and then President Trump put the kibosh on that, didn't allow her to have the military jet, and they ran around Beltway a couple times, didn't know what they were doing. Well, it wasn't a coincidence that all of a sudden the FBI then had the arrested, likely the patsy that was going to shoot an RPG at the White House. I mean, and then Nancy Pelosi as speakers and third in succession. They also had a hit out on our vice president. This is real stuff. This is real stuff. This is so unbelievable. You couldn't even begin to write a screenplay. You couldn't even begin to write a novel about this. And it's happening right now, in real time. And,
well, the Chinese operative that was at the White House. Well, I mean, I haven't heard anything about that recently. Has anybody else?
You mean at Mar-a-Lago?
Sorry, Mar-a-Lago.
No, I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, but for a very on top of things person at the front desk, person would have been allowed in. She was allowed in, and so it went through multiple levels of security, right? And that's been rectified. But I mean, we are in dangerous times, and I mean, there is just so much going on. But right now, rest assured, this plan is moving forward, and they are doing so much behind the scenes, closing off the ingress, egress, the flow, the infrastructure where these people thought they were going to be, the deep staters thought they were going to be able to kind of secret train underground or wherever, go to their bug out. Well, all that's being locked down. We're in very, very dangerous times, and continue to prayers up for our dear president and all of the White Hat Alliance.
Yeah, last thing I wanted to say before I jump off real quick is President Trump is an amazing human being, because just like our forefathers, he is risking everything to be president of the United States. And look, the guy, he's not taking a salary. He's donating it all. And, I got to keep praying for him. And just one more thing Q said is the loudest ones are the ones with the targets on their back. So Swalwell, all those people today and during the Senate hearing, those ones are the ones with the targets on their back. And just remember that it's going to happen, and great things are going to happen. But I'm jumping off. Thanks, guys, so much.
Alrighty, come back anytime.
Yeah, great to have you. Great to have you on the show there, Regan's Runners. That was Regan's Runners there, live chat. Awesome.
Alrighty.
We are coming up to the top of the hour here. A few minutes left. Maybe we just see if go around here to the table and let you guys say your last words to live chat if you like.
Go ahead, Deb 65.
I was just going to say, just thank you for letting me come on. And something that I caught this afternoon, at the Kentucky Derby. I don't know if people realize, but how maximum security won and they disqualified him. Well, Maxine Waters was there at the Derby. So
very interesting.
Yeah. So it's interesting how it seems interesting that whenever something, I guess, disastrous happens.
Almost every single time.
Yep. So anyway, y'all have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.
Alrighty. Thanks for stopping in, and come back.
Yeah, great to have you on always there, Dub 65.
All right. Clarion, you want to go next?
Yeah, I do. And I will say one thing first about maximum security. Well, they can't take away the fact, it's incontrovertible, that he got across the finish line first, maximum security. So no matter how hard they try, they can't erase that away. And so I just want to thank you for your show. And I want to close in a prayer. Heavenly Father, we just praise and glorify you. And we just thank you for your son, Jesus Christ, Yahushua HaMashiach in Hebrew. And we just pray a bloodline of Jesus' blood around this whole movement, Lord. Protect our dear president, all of those that are in special ops that are going on right now, live, hot action. Lord God, we just praise you and we thank you in advance. And we declare and decree Psalm 91 with your holy warring angels led by Michael the Archangel. And I just thank you. And I always will say thank you to Pam and to Radix for stepping up and continuing to step up, and all of the hosts and mods and all those in live chat too. God bless you and have a good night. And thank you, Mr. President.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Very well said, Patriot.
All right, Drunken Pinata, last but not least.
I think I mentioned this before, but I'm just so glad that we're starting to see the things that we've all been things that we've said in our head and wanting Congress to act. We're finally seeing that action. And today I saw it real time, when we saw, Matt Gaetz just completely own that, the path that they were on. I mean, they still went ahead with their vote, but he completely ruined the mood in that room. And that's awesome. And I think that the more, it's just going to keep happening that way. So thanks as always for having me on, guys, and we'll talk to you later.
Artie, take care.
Awesome. Thanks very much for coming on the show, Drunken Pinata.
And I'd like to thank Sosha for doing the pre-screening.
Yeah, let's give
the other mods out there.
For sure. In fact, while you're saying that, where were we here? Yes, I'd like to give a nice shout out to Sosha 321 for volunteering. And how about this? All right. Thank you very much, Sosha, and all live chat for being with us tonight. It's been great. Give everybody a good round of applause out there.
Chris, are you out there?
Yes, I am. How are you doing?
Pretty
all
good.
Right, I'm doing good. In fact, let's give Chris a round of applause. All right, folks.
You guys are cracking me up. That's awesome.
A new toy.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I love the prayer, by the way.
Yeah, that was great.
Great. Yeah, great closer too. Yes, awesome. Yeah, I love your sound effects. That's pretty cool. Interesting show tonight. And I love you guys. You get people to call in, and you've kind of got regulars now. They're almost like co-hosts. They're pretty cool. Yeah. They always have something really good to say.
Yeah,
I like
definitely. That. Yeah, we always like leaving our platform open for the people out there to use it as their soapbox, because just the same for me to have an opportunity from another country. I love hearing other people's voices out there as well.
Yeah, it's nice. You get an idea of what people have to say. And I think once they do it, they're always, like I was afraid to go on air. Man, oh my God, I was shaking. I was so scared. But you know what? It's when within a few seconds, it's like, I'm just talking. It's kind of, people are afraid to come in. I know they don't come on my show. They will not call in. I don't know why. It's just one of those things, I guess. We had one guy about 2 weeks ago, but yeah, I have a bashful bunch. I don't know. That's so funny. Yeah, you guys got the bold ones, so it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well,